Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com, and this is episode 6 of Photo Critiques. And in Photo Critiques, people send me in 3 to 10 of their best images, and I critique each image with suggestions on how they could improve their photography. And today, I'm going to be critiquing the work of Martin Briones. And Martin, if I mispronounced your name, I apologize. I'm horrible at it. Um, those of you that frequent my website will probably recognize Martin's name because I critiqued some of his work before, but not in a video form. And he's a really, really good photographer, and he sent me 3 real nice images we're going to talk about. One thing I want to talk about first is you see how small this is. It's a really small image. Martin probably sent it small images because they're easier to email, but they're harder to critique. So if you guys send me any images, make sure the long side is at least 1,000 pixels. So that would be twice as big as this one. Preferably more around 2,500 pixels along the long edge. All right, and then I'll be able to look at the photo a little more easily and critique it. I'm going to zoom in on this now, but it's going to distort the image a little bit. So just remember the distortion is because I'm zooming in, not because Martin screwed anything up. This first shot is of a pier and probably the ocean or a lake, but I assume it's the ocean. What I love here is the sky, the colors in the sky. Nice contrasting colors, very nice. I really like that. What I'd like to comment on though is the light stanchions are cut off, and that makes it kind of awkward looking, and the end of the pier is cut off. Whenever you photograph certain things that recede out into the distance, you like to see where they terminate, so you don't want to cut it off. And the light stanchions, it just doesn't look right with them cut off because it's the main subject of this shot. Well, there's the co-main subjects. One is the sun and one is the pier. And the pier is being disabled, more or less, because of the light stanchions being cut off and the end is missing. Excuse me. So what Martin could have did probably is move more to his right and tilt the camera more to the left. He still would have got the sun set in the shot. Still would have got some of this glow coming in underneath the posts of the pier, and he would have got in the end of the pier. If he would have pulled back on the beach also, he would have got in the light stanchions. So that's my suggestion how he could have recomposed the shot to get in those two elements. The other thing is I looked at the metadata, the AXIF data, and it looks like he used a 1.6 second shutter speed, which is nice, and it flattened out the water a little bit. What I would have liked to seen him do is to use an even longer shutter speed, and it would have flattened out the water considerably. If he would have used a shutter speed of maybe 10, 20 seconds, then the water would have been a lot flatter, and all of these posts of the pier would have been reflected in the water. To get that type of shutter speed though, he probably would have had to use an ND filter, neutral density filter, and a neutral density filter just lets less light into the camera without affecting the color of the shot. And I have articles on my website that explain how to use ND filters, so you might want to check that out. So that's it. That's what I would say on this shot is try not to cut off the stanchions, show where the pier terminates by showing the end of the pier, and use an ND filter. It would have smoothed out the water better. Now in this shot, he did exactly what I asked. The light posts are not cut out. Now this end one is, but that's okay because the pier is running off into the distance and we see where it ends. So it's like real big over here, even, so big it doesn't even fit in the frame, and then it just goes out into the distance. So that composition is perfect on this. The water, if I remember right, he used a 3-second exposure on this. As you could see, the water is even more glass-like and more of the pier is being reflected. Kind of a big wave, but I still think if you used an even longer shutter speed and maybe timed it where this wave was in and then receding, it would have made the post reflect even better. So what I mean by that is the wave is coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in, trip the shutter, and then it's receding, and there won't be a big wave going out as there is coming in. So these would have reflected a lot better. But other than that, the shot, I like it a lot better than the previous shot because of the way he's positioned and composed the shot. This last shot, I love the color. This is awesome, the color here. What couple things is this foreground area, although I like the color, there's nothing else there to draw my eye to it. I would have liked something in the foreground here. I mean, it could have been anything. Could have been like, driftwood, a bonfire. It could have been like a lounge chair. Maybe, you could like make a story. Put a lounge chair, pair of sneakers, balled up socks, but no person. Something like, anything to break up this vast expanse. I don't care for this darkness here either, but Martin might not have been able to avoid that because there's probably maybe a light here, maybe there's volleyball court or something over here. But maybe he could have, set something up too to exploit this darkness. Maybe have a woman walking slowly away into the distance, into the darkness, like this. And that would have added some mystery and some interest to the foreground. The other thing is, these are kind of flat across the upper middle of the frame. They're not really receding. They're not. It's just a flat line. If Martin could have, now I wasn't there, so I don't know the scene. There might have been, for all I know, a tank right here in his way. But if he could have moved to the right and shot more this way, more towards the left, these buildings would have been starting here probably and then receding out into the distance. And that would have been, it would have made my eye flow through the photograph better. And again, though, you would still need something in the foreground to add some interest. I do love the color, though. I think he did a nice job, and he did a great job of exposing it. The lights aren't really overbearing. The sky is perfect, so I like everything about that. So that's it on this photo critique. I hope that helps everyone. If anyone has any questions, you could always email me at tony@anthonymorganti.com. If you have some photographs you'd like me to critique, go over to my website. At the very top you'll see heading critiques. Click on that, then scroll all the way to the bottom, and there's instructions there on how you could send me your images to critique. So that's it. I should mention I am behind on my critiques. I hope to get caught up soon. So if you send them to me, it might take me a week, maybe even 2, to get to them. So just bear with me, but I will get to them. And again, I thank everyone for watching my videos, and thank everyone who's subscribed to the channel, and I'd appreciate it if you hadn't subscribed yet to subscribe to my channel and comment, like, and share the videos. Thanks.